Next up is the most important and my favorite topic, Snowpipe. Snowpipe is a feature that enables automated micro batch loading of data as soon as files are available in the stage, typically within minutes. It utilizes serverless compute resources, eliminating the need to manage virtual warehouses for ingestion. Snowflake supports continuous data ingestion from cloud storage like S3, GCS, Azure from structured and semi-structured data. The key aspects of Snowpipe are automation because you can use event notification to detect new files and remove the manual copy into commands. Then it is serverless because Snowflake uses compute managed by Snowflake and you don't need to worry about warehouse but incurs additional cost which is separately billed to the user. Next is pipe object. A first class Snowflake object pipe is created to define a copy into statement and source target mappings. Last is Snowpipe streaming. This is the newer feature that allows loading data directly into tables within seconds without needing the staging files, offering lower latency for real-time applications. Let's see Snowpipe in action. I will go to my Snowflake instance. I am into my Snowflake and I had created a file name as snowpipe.sql. Before I do anything in my Snowflake, I need to move to my AWS, and first thing I will go to my S3 and I will create a S3 bucket. I will click on create bucket and I will name the bucket as, let's say, Snowpipe demo 2026, and I will click on create bucket. I had successfully created my bucket. Now I will create the IAM policy so that I can have a handshake between my S3 and Snowflake. So I will go to my IAM and I will click on policies and I will click on create policy. And now I will select a service, and in my case service is S3. So I will type S3 and I will select that service. And once I select it, I want all the S3 actions to be performed. So I will select the manual actions as all S3 actions. And once I select them, I will go down and I will select the all the resources as of the moment. And then I will click on next. Then it's time to create the policy. I will say my policy name is Snowflake S3 policy. And then I will create the policy. And perfect, I had created my policy. Let's check the policy. I can see my policy. It is customer managed and that's what I want. It's the time to go to roles and create a role as well. I will go to my roles. I will click on create a role, and the service I want is S3. I will click on S3 and then I will go next, and then I will select my policy which I just created, that was Snowflake S3 policy. I will attach the policy and I will click on next. And then the role name, I need to mention that. Let's say role name is Snowflake S3 role. Cool. And then I will just click on create. And that's it, guys. I had created my role in AWS as well. Cool. It's the very time that I move back to my Snowflake. And first thing, I will create a storage integration. So I will say create or replace storage integration, and my storage integration name, let's say S3 Snowpipe integration. Okay. And then I need to mention the type is external stage, external underscore stage. And then I will mention storage provider in my case is S3. And then I will mention enabled is equal to true. And I also need to mention my storage AWS role ARN. And I also need to mention my storage load location. Cool. How can I get this storage AWS role ARN is, I will go to my roles. Okay, this is my role. I will click here. And here, once I click on my role, I should be able to see my ARN number. I will copy paste this ARN number and I will go to my Snowflake and I will paste it here. Inside the single quotes, I will place this. And similarly for storage load location, I need my S3 location. So I will move back to my AWS. I will go to my S3 and I will copy the S3 path. For that, I will just click on my bucket and then this Snowpipe demo 2026. I will copy paste this and I will come to my Snowflake. I will say S3. Then I will copy paste and inside this I will be having my files. Cool. And that's pretty much guys. So I will hit run and create the integration. And perfect guys, I had successfully created my integration. It's the very time that I should describe my integration. I will say describe integration S3 Snowpipe in and I will hit run. And from this, I will copy two things. First thing, I will copy this storage AWS IAM user ARN, and the value of this is this one. I will just copy paste on my screen. I will just comment it here. And second thing I need is this one, storage AWS external ID. Okay, I will copy paste this one as well. And below that, I will comment that. So these two things I need to specify inside my role trust relationships. So now I got these two things. I will first copy paste my IAM user ARN and I will move back to my AWS and then I will go to my roles. I will first go to IAM and inside the IAM I will go to roles. Then I will select my role which we just had created. Then I will go to trust relationships and inside the trust relationships, I will edit the trust policy. Okay, here what I will do is inside the principal, I will remove this one. Okay, and then I will mention AWS and I will paste my IAM user ARN here. And similarly, I will go back and copy my external ID as well. I will go back here and after the actions, I will add a comma and then I will add a condition. And here I will say string equals and I will say STS external ID and I will paste my copied one. And guys, that's pretty much I require. Now I will just click on update policy. And that's it, guys. Now my role should be having access to the Snowflake. So there is a bridge we had established between Snowflake and my S3 bucket using storage integration. It's the very time that I should create other things like file format. So I will say create or replace file format. And then I will mention, let's say my CSV format. And then I will mention my type. Type in my case is CSV. And then I will mention field delimiter and my field delimiter is comma and then I will say skip header because my first record inside my file is header. So I will say skip header is equal to 1 and then I will say field optionally enclosed and I will mention single quotes and then I will say null if there is any null value I want to replace that with null or let's say null and let's say empty field as null as well. Empty field as null is equal to true. Cool. Now I will hit run and I had successfully created my file format. It's the very time that I should also create a table. I will say create or replace my employee table and I will fast forward here. This is my employee data table DDL. I will hit run and then I need to create the stage, right? So for that, I need to say create or replace stage at the rate stage my S3 stage, let's say, and I will mention the URL here. And then I will mention my storage integration and my storage integration name is S3 Snowpipe int. I will mention that here and I will hit run and create the stage. And perfect, guys. I had created my stage as well. It's the very time to come back to the main topic of creating a pipe now. I will say create or replace pipe. Let's say my CSV snow pipe. And then I will say auto ingest whenever the new file is coming. Please ingest is that file ASAP. So I'm saying auto ingest is equal to true. And here I will mention my copy into command. So I will say copy into my EMP data table from my stage. My stage name is my S3 stage. And then I will mention my file format and I will pass on my format name, which is my CSV format. Perfect. And that's it, guys. I will hit run and create a pipe. Once I had created the pipe, I will click on show pipe. And I am able to see my newly created pipe. Now I will copy this notification channel, and the reason why I am copying this notification channel is I need this notification channel to create the event notification in the AWS S3. I will go back to my AWS. I will go back and hit on the AWS homepage and then I will go to S3 and then I will move into my bucket and here I will go to properties. And if I go down, I have an option called create event notification. So I will click on create event notification and I will give the event name, let's say Snowpipe ingestion. And then I will mention the suffix if it is valid that only CSV files load into the stage. Then I will click on all the create events and then I will go down, go down, go down. And here I will click SQSQ and then I will say enter SQSQ ARN. And inside this, I will copy paste my notification, which I had copied from my Snowflake by using Snowpipes. So I will copy paste this notification channel here. And once this is done, I will click on save changes. And that's it, guys. That's it. It's the very time that I go to my Snowflake and I will just run the select star from table. So initially my table is empty as you know, but I will still run it. And as you can see, query produced no results. This means my table is empty at the moment. I will just go to my S3 bucket. I will click on here. I will upload a file. I will click on add files and I will upload, let's say employee file. And then I will say upload. And now within a minute or so, this file should be consumed and automatically I should be having data inside my employee data table. Okay, let me try refreshing it. It might take a minute or so. So we have to be little bit patient. Snowpipe is not something which ingest your things in milliseconds. It take time, maybe a minute or something, depends on the file size. Let's keep on querying this employee data table and we will be able to see data. As you can see, we are able to see two records because my file is only having two records. If I open this file and show you, I am only having two records. So that's the reason I am seeing both the records here. And let's now consume one more file. Okay, I will rerun this and I can see both the records. Now I will go back here and I will upload one more file. Okay, and this time I will upload employee underscore one file as well. Here also in this file we are having two records only. I will click on update and once I had uploaded this file, now this time Snowflake should not be consuming this file. It should only be consuming this file and it will be only consuming this file because it tracks the history that which file it had already consumed. The files which are consumed, they are not eligible to be reconsumed. Okay, so if I go back to my Snowpipe and I will keep on running this select star, maybe in the 10 seconds or 20 seconds, I should be able to see four records now. So I will wait for a, yeah, See guys, so I don't even need to wait. So it had completed his work within seconds, and now I am able to see all the four records. This is how Snowpipe works. Hope you really enjoyed it. I had to copy pasted all my scripts, but I am removing my these ARN numbers because of security reasons. Okay, and yeah, that's pretty much ready for you guys. Let's now discuss about Snowpipe streaming. Snowpipe streaming is Snowflake real-time ingestion service built on the high-performance architecture. It enables applications to load streaming data directly into Snowflake tables as rows, arrive without staging files or managing any kind of intermediate storage. Data becomes available for query within seconds of ingestion, supporting use cases from IoT telemetry and CDC pipeline to fraud detection and live analytics. Snowpipe streaming delivers up to 10 GB per second throughput per table, as low as 5-second end-to-end ingest to query latency, exactly once delivery through built-in offset token tracking and ordered ingestion within each channel, and also streaming into Snowflake managed Apache Iceberg tables. If we talk about the use case where to use Snowpipe streaming and where to use Snowpipe streaming is intended to complement Snowpipe, not to replace it. Use Snowpipe streaming in scenarios where data arrives as rows, for example, Apache Kafka topics or IoT devices or application events instead of files. With Snowpipe streaming, you don't need to create files to load data into Snowflake. So always remember, Snowpipe is recommended for the use case of with files. And if you don't have files, the data is coming in the form of rows, then you need to switch to Snowpipe streaming.